My thing is like you can't really, like we were saying earlier, belief is just what it is. So somebody choose to believe something that don't click, that's totally on them. That's, and that's why I say it's called, it's a willful ignorance type of thing. It's a willful, now there's a difference. Back in the day, things were different. So it made sense more why, people had that fear.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. The times were different. But in today's time, especially in 2020, the age of awareness, the age where so much stuff is going to happen that nobody, not even if you're blind, deaf, or dumb, nobody will be able to dismiss what they see now. If you had no knowledge of it before, you are now aware of what's going on in the world today, right? So with all of this going on, my thing is, if you never thought or questioned a belief that you grew up with all your life, you never gave that any thought to whether this is real or fake, right? In 2020, with all this stuff that's been going on, how can anyone not question with coronavirus going on? But I mean, just with all of this stuff, just corona being the latest, other than police brutality. Well, but that's always been a thing. But my thing is, with all of this stuff going on, how can one not question, is there something that's really here to save a people? And if it is, why are these people who are claimed believers being ones who are dying in the numbers of non-believers? You get what I'm saying? So something should click in someone's mind to question any of it.
And just like my generation, we are so young, but yet we are so productive and so successful at young ages, making lots of money, becoming millionaires, making money from back to back. You know why? Because we choose not to let something strike fear in us and control our life. We take control of our lives by ourselves and make something happen. And you see people that's 70, that's old and everything, praying for something that is not going to come true. You are still struggling in your 70s or 80s, praying for something that has not yet to come true. And you know why? Because you're letting yourself get down. You're letting something control you and control your life. You can't succeed if you have fear in anything.
And that makes sense, because it's like, my thing is, it's like, again, there was a time when having that belief in that God was very important. Having some type of belief in anything, something was that important per the times that was happening. The stress and the struggles of it all. And I get it. But now, with change that has happened over the years, and things, not to say they are getting progressively better, but they just different now. So should our mindsets be. But how is it that we can have the same mindset from years ago, you know what I'm saying, with the same fears, the same, the same everything? It's like we choose not to progress. We choose not to see a different or better way. You get what I'm saying? And it's just like, and that's with anybody who worships a said God or anything. My thing is this. Like this lady asked me today at the flea market, she came up to the table and she was curious about getting a reading. So she asked me, like, I heard this was bad and this was, the negative thing. And I said, well, in the Bible, people who do, what I do, they're referred to as familiar spirits. Mm-hmm. So she said, well, I don't remember that in the Bible. So that told me right there, she didn't even read the Bible. So, but then she goes to say, well, I'm just scared about stuff like that. Well, okay. What would scare you if you were already born with a gift, right? And it's up to you to nurture that gift. Mm-hmm. And so if you choose to have this gift and give it to something else, someone else, as a not something that you were born with, right? But something that this said God that you now worship years later gave to you. Before you even took belief in that, you can do things. You maybe can be able to tell if someone was pregnant or something was coming or if something bad was going to happen, or you know what I'm saying? Like before any of these things were said to be negative in those days, they were natural. Mm-hmm. So now that if it's not of Jesus, then it's something negative. It's bad. How can it be when you were born with this? Mm-hmm. How can it be bad? So you were born bad? You didn't even nurture the gift yet. All you know is that you just walked into an awareness that you could do things that maybe others can't. Mm-hmm. So how is that bad? You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say when it comes down to religion and people who have religious minds, like, religious fanatics, because I've known some religious people who don't have all that judgment and stuff. But the average one I know are very judgmental. Mm-hmm. So they would bash you before they even get to know you. And, it's like my thing is, if you feel like the gift that you have, you got from Jesus, right? You, first of all, what age did Jesus give you this gift? And then what age did you accept Jesus in your life to truly understand what you were doing? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Because that matters. Because it's a belief that you have to have for this to work, for whatever Jesus have to bestow upon you to manifest. So without this belief in Jesus, then it's something negative. You get what I'm saying? How can that be? So that's why I say, if people are going to make that argument about spiritualists practicing, whatever field, my thing is, how is what they are doing any different or wrong than what Jesus did? Exactly. He raised the dead. You want a zombie? You want some, I don't care where to love. You get what I'm saying? Because at some point, it's about letting go. Mm-hmm. That's supposed to be a sin. You get what I'm saying? To bring back the dead. So how is that not negative? Because once somebody's gone, you have to work within yourself to let that go. Because evidently that was supposedly God's will. Right? Mm-hmm. How then can you then turn around and say, no, it's not my will and I'm going to bring you back? If that's the case, why are you choosing that one person opposed to everyone else that passed away? What makes that one person any more greater? You get what I'm saying? not to get this blessing. So that's why I say, when it comes to religion, it's a lot that I don't think people think about when it comes down to the negative parts of it, those cons, and it's not even really a pro because it's a clutch. It's something to hold on to until you figure out how to work within your own mind, your own problems. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, really, religion, is great if you don't have the willpower within yourself to say, you know what, let me stop and rethink this thing. Let me figure myself out. Let me figure a way out of this situation. Because everybody's praying for a change, something different than what they're living right now. So it's like, come on, like, a lot of times you can get yourself out of that situation you're praying for. Mm-hmm. Most times you can get yourself out of that situation that you're praying for if you put forth a little more effort, right? But it's like, at the end of the day, they don't want you to do that.
Exactly.
They want you to depend upon something, and keep dependent upon something, and keep dependent upon something, whether it works or not. Just keep believing. You just keep oh God, dog, all this, everybody dying around me, everything's dying around me, everything's changing, and it's like, but I have to keep the same mindset. Now it's like, so do you really have to keep that same mindset, or is it fear that keeps you from changing your mind, saying, you know what, nah, this is messing with my mental, and I gotta really think about this because I can't really deal with this. It's all fear based. All of this stuff is fear based.
Exactly. And when you are fearing something you worship, you are contradicting yourself. And the Bible say that God He made us in His image. So
and likeness.
That means He gave us all the material and gifts to, be successful. And if we are denying those gifts, how can we truly say that we're worshiping God and we're doing His job when you're literally denying the stuff that He gave you? Okay,
now here's a twist to that. Because then who gave us that fear? Who even instilled that fear within us? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. For us to even know what fear is. So if everything is of God, then that means God had fears of His own. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, so now it's like you got good and you got bad. We were talking earlier about God and Satan, God and Lucifer, whatever, good and bad, and how both of them were on one accord at one point. Mm-hmm. At some point, they were all on one accord, living a happy family. Everybody was chilling, everybody was good, and then all of a sudden, somebody said, "Hold the hell up." Somebody was like, hold up. Pause. Here go Lucifer. I got a question. Why everything gotta be your way? Because it seemed like we was all just doing everything you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yeah, we were all on one accord, but I realize I ain't happy in this union. Because it seems kind of selfish to me. I think we have a selfish relationship going on. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what, I want a divorce. So,
I want a divorce.
Yeah, Lucy was like, I want a divorce because this relationship is not working out. It is very one-sided at this point, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, everything has to be your way, all right? Now, I don't know what kind of marriage this is, but I want a divorce from you. So Lucy decided to go ahead on and her husband, God, like, all right, goodbye. But guess what? When you leave, I'm gonna make sure that every damn thing that you do, I'll make sure everybody that know about you know you ain't shit. You know, no, you ain't shit. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk bad about you. I'm gonna throw dirt on your name, everything. I don't care how good you do. I don't care what people think or see. Mm-hmm. You trash. You bad. You negative. Mm-hmm. People don't need to rock with you. So Lucy, like, I already got my team, and we out. And here they go, no,
right? Why it's divorce is a sin? Because
that was the first divorce. That literally was the first divorce. So
of course he gonna say it's a sin.
Yeah. He's like, yo, your wife just left you. You got mad and kicked the heifer out because she didn't want to play your game no more. She didn't want to play a part of your team no more. Like, you know, you done had the kids on your side, every damn thing. And then all of a sudden, Lucy like, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I'm being too good of a damn wife over here. Okay, like something is very wrong. Like, I'm just simply always doing, I feel like I'm made. Like I'm everything. I really don't even feel like I had a mind of my own because everything was your way. Like, so now I'm kind of wondering, I think you mind controlled me.
Exactly. Why would you create me if I can't have a mind of my own?
That part, that the will. Now see, now people forget about the free will choice. Now, yeah, the Bible did say not to eat of this tree unless, you get what I'm saying? He ain't say don't eat of the tree, period, point blank. He was just saying don't eat of the tree, because in the day that you do, surely you'll die. Right? Pretty much, I'm saying, yeah, this tea right here, if you want it, it's been sitting here for about a week. I didn't have it in the refrigerator on that, so I mean, you can have it if you want it now. I mean, it's up to you. It's pretty much the same thing. You see what I'm saying? It's your choice to want to drink that sour tea or not, right? You want to know what it tastes like. Mm-hmm. Just like Eve wanted to know what knowledge was like. Mm-hmm. She got knowledge, and then all of a sudden was like, I was right. I knew I was right.
She was the second Lucifer.
I knew I was right. You tricked me. Like, you manipulated me. You brainwashed me into doing every freaking thing. Like, everything was okay, and I was so naive that I didn't even realize that I had no mind of my own.
Mm-hmm. You've been keeping me from the truth.
Right. You were keeping me from the truth, telling me all that. Just like I was talking about Abraham supposed to be sacrificing his son Isaac, right? Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you about this line, Mother Scudder Abraham. OOA. Right? Now, here it is that this Bible is so filled with so many manipulative stories. Mm-hmm. And then when you tell it, when you hear it, when these preachers say it, they make it sound so glory. They dress it up with bells and whistles and make it sound so great and stuff. But then when you actually read it for yourself, you'll be like, yo, that motherfucker is a liar. Yo, like straight up, you lie.
In the Bible, and you can't see where it's like, okay, this does not seem right. Then you're really not reading the Bible. Then
you really not reading the Bible.
You're not.
Or if you trying to read it, you can't comprehend. So this is my thing. So Abe goes, tell us, say, hey, we go take a trip, right? Mm-hmm. So, he ain't really tell him what the journey was about. right? All they know, Isaac knew was they were supposed to be sacrificing this lamb, right? Now, Isaac don't know he the damn lamb, or supposed to be the lamb at that time, right? So he go with his pops. They go up to Mount Moriah with a couple of servants. Now, they leave the servants and say, me and Isaac gonna run over here and then we gonna come right back, right? We gonna give our praise and worship, then we gonna come back. So this is the thing. Here it is. His son asked him, Dad, well, where's the lamb gonna come from? His dad gonna tell him, oh, no worries, son. God will provide. Now, instead of telling your son, maybe I should stop and tell you some things right now. So because I really love this God and I worship this God, he's requiring me to sacrifice you, my only son. Now, surely you can understand this. My love for God. Mm-hmm. And believe me, you'll have great things because you'll be with him. So I'm just giving him back to you. So I hope that you can understand. Instead of him expressing the truth to Isaac, he tells Isaac some old lie. So Isaac don't break the hell off and run for cover. They get to the freaking altar and he straps his son to the damn altar, pulls out this knife, and was going to kill his freaking son until some hey, don't you dare touch a hair on that body head or I'll slaughter your ass. Because at this point, here it is, God done told you, if you sacrifice your son, you know what I'm saying? That shows your dedication and your love to me. It's pretty much being gang initiated at this point, right? Alright, so here you go showing your real love, like, fuck that, I don't care about my son like that, I love you, God, like, I'm gonna kill his ass, I'm gonna slaughter him for you, like, all this crazy stuff, right? He goes and take his son to the altar, don't tell his son he about to kill his, I'm about to, because I love this guy, and then turn around, and the only thing that saved that boy is another voice, and grabs his arm and say, don't do it. Now, here's two problems. There's many, but here's just two specific ones. One, first, you lied to your son. Now, if we are supposed to learn from our parents, right? And you're teaching your son to lie right now to get what he wants. Because if he didn't walk away with anything else, he walked away with the fact that my dad was about to kill me and he lied to me about, now how can I ever trust this man again? Like, I probably need to run away. Because what if God speaks to his ass again? And he flipped the hell out and go crazy on my ass. And probably do it this time. So that's the first problem I have. That God is okay with Abraham lying and blessing him and his descendants forevermore, right? The second problem I have is the fact that why would a God even put your ass in that predicament in the first place?
Exactly, if he was a good God.
If he was not only that, but how about if Isaac didn't Abe didn't recognize the voice of the angel and slaughtered that boy? Mm-hmm. Would you have still blessed him? You get what I'm saying? Because he didn't recognize the voice. Like, it's so many stuff. It's so many things like that. And then they tell you these stories to put fear in you. Mm-hmm. For what? If I'm supposed to love this guy, how the hell I'm gonna love him and fear him at the same time? You fear people that you think can hurt you? I mean, you love people that you think can hurt you? Like, why? You're not gonna go to jail and be like, I love you, and no people could probably go up in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, that doesn't even make sense. You won't even freaking completely love your parents if you had fear, if they instilled like true fear in you. You wouldn't even be able to truly love your parents. You'd be trying to get the hell away from them.
Exactly.
So how can anybody who truly say that they worship this God and they love this God and they after this God with all their heart, can they truly say, and they fear this God? How can you fear and love this God at the same time? How?
Can't.
And if that's the case, you in an abusive relationship.
Exactly.
And you're used to that kind of stuff. That's probably why a lot of these Christian women is single and struggling, because they so used to being beat down, because religion has beat us down. Our ancestors, they've been beaten down by religion. And now here you go, being beat down with that same thing, but you can't let go. You can't let go of the thing that hurt you or the thing that holds you back. Same thing in a relationship. You love him. Why? He beats your ass every day. What is it that you love about him? He pays the bills, get a job. He got good sex, plenty of dick out there. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I can't understand it either.
It's fear. And when you ask these women, why are you still there? And you love him. Do you really? I'm just afraid to leave. Exactly.
God, they say God gonna get me through it. No, God gonna put you in that place right there.
Oh God.
You in that place.
I thought God got y'all two together. Exactly. When you first met, you said, God sent this man into my life. And now you asking God to get you out of the situation. But which is it? Like, that's why I don't get about a lot of these religious people. Like, which is it? Like, he put you, did he give you this man to teach you a lesson? And if he did, are you learning the lesson?
And when you said the divorce, the first divorce, God and Lucy, it was marriage. If you really think about it, maybe that is true. Maybe Lucifer was not an angel, but a god. God was the masculine, Lucifer was the feminine, because it perceived Lucifer as feminine, gorgeous, just so
most beautiful thing ever created, and woman is one of the most beautiful creatures ever created on this planet.
So if you actually think about it, maybe they were married, and Lucifer.
How else would they have created duplicates of themselves?
That's why he said, let us make man
in our image and after our likeness, because one was good, one, not to say, in essence, not to say one of them was bad. One of them just had other ways than the other one. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't quite match. They were like total opposites. They didn't agree. So it's just like a marriage that was doomed from the start, unless they decided to compromise. Just like the mind, it's doomed from the start, depending on who's your teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's teaching you? Who's training you? Who's bringing you up? Because if the wrong person is bringing you up, you doomed from the start.
And that's because I'm glad you spoke of that, because now I really do believe that Lucifer was not an angel. Lucifer was a god.
The feminine goddess. If there's a god, there must have been a goddess.
Exactly. They birthed angels as children. How is he gonna create that without
by himself?
Exactly. You need both of them,
and you need the feminine in order to even make this thing like a damn cake. That's like you having the mixture, but you don't have the oven to put the cake in. Like, that is not a cake. It's just a bunch of shit just mixed up together. But it's nothing without it going into the oven and being able to produce what it need to produce. So at the end of the day, it's like, and that was getting into the Adam and Eve story. Like, really, if when you speak about the Adam and Eve story, right? And you get to the part about Cain getting married. And then people will question, well, if Adam and Eve were the first people, who the hell did Cain get married to? Yeah. And I'm like, exactly. So you need to get out of chapter 2 because you're reading the second creation and not the first creation. Chapter 1 talks about the first creation of the first people. That's why they talk about astrology. You know, they talk about the sky being dark and then birthing the light and things like that. So as above, so below. It must be that it start with night. So the people who look like night, and then they birth and birth and birth and birth until they start to mutate and mutate and mutate and transmutate, and then they come into the most extended point of the color spectrum and the character spectrum, and everything that's equal and opposite of the beginning is the end. So it must be that the first creation, when they spoke about a male and a female being created, male and female, right? And these were people who had equal, they were made equally, right? We skip over that part. We always skip over chapter 1. How the hell we gonna skip over chapter 1 and jump to chapter 2 talking about Adam and Eve? That's not where the story, that's not where creation began. It began at the beginning in chapter 1 when they said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and the first people to be created had to look like the first day, which is night. So they had to have been dark people. And from these dark people came the second thing, which was the light. So it had to be a transmutation and a transmutation and a transmutation and a transmutation and a change and a change and a change until you wash it all out to get the ending effects. So if that be the case, right, that kills the one theory of what's going on right now today. This whole racism shit. How is it truly any race, one race superior, more superior than the other when there's a first race that created all, and from one came many. So now that many, now that one, let's say they are dominant in certain areas. Naturally, they're dominant in certain areas. That doesn't make them superior. They're just dominant in certain areas. Not to say any other of these other races like that. They may just be a little more dominant in those areas. When you get to the end race, they're dominant in other areas. And we can see that, right? Here it is, you see that. How does that, what we see, make you any more superior than anyone else? Because, again, it's all one. You came from everything. What you learned, there's nothing new. So what's been old, it just keeps, it just keeps changing. It's old shit that just recycled shit. Trash bags, toilet paper, all this crap. So it's like, I don't think we are, it's so many things that I think we lack knowledge about that puts us in this fear-based situation in life. It puts us in because of what we've been told. There are traditions that people practice that it's like, it's kind of creepy if you think about it. A lot of these holidays are very creepy if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? But what person who grew up in that same household doing those things is going to speak out, who if you don't get your ass up and ready You about to get your, you know what I'm saying? Who the hell gonna say, I think it's a little creepy and I don't want to go? What kid gonna be bold enough to say that? No one. You get whooped out of the bed. You crazy? So it's like, you know, a lot of these fears, and why do they do that? They were beat into believing certain things and fearing certain things. And how can you grow your child up in a way different from what you've grown if you don't know anything different? You know, because this is how it's always been. That doesn't make it right. Maybe nobody just put thought to something being right. You know? Maybe nobody had enough morals or values to say, this is wrong and I'm not doing this anymore. But who's going to be that person that's strong enough to actually, who's going to be that person who don't have that fear? Who's going to be that person to speak up and say, I refuse to continue to keep doing this because I don't like it, I don't agree with it, and I think it's a little creepy.
Exactly.
I think it's crazy.
And that goes to show you that fear is taught. It's embedded in you when someone is teaching you and putting fear inside you. If you never experienced fear, how do you know how do you know that you truly fear something if you never experienced before?
How do you know? Okay. How do you truly know that you love a God that you've never seen or never felt, that presented itself in a way to say, this is me? Maybe you've heard it or whatever, but that could be anything because that's a maybe, right? Mm-hmm. We're not supposed to always listen to what we hear, right? Even what we see, we can't even too much believe. But what we feel is very real. What we feel don't lie.
Sure don't.
That don't lie.
It did not lie.
Our eyes, you know, in our mind lies. So it's like you can look at something and because your mind has been thrown into shock because you don't want to believe what you're seeing because your eyes is like, I see this. And your mind like, nope. You know what I'm saying? Acting a donkey. But your emotions, while you saying, your mind is saying, no, your heart is just breaking. You're confused. So with all of that going on, and these are things that a regular person can come and bring upon you. Mm-hmm. How then can you truly know what you feel or hear or see or think to say that you love this God? Would you, like Abe about to sacrifice his son to prove his love and loyalty and dedication? You get what I'm saying? That's wilding out. But at the same time, that's supposed to be acceptable because it's religion. But if some crazy person, truly crazy person, says they heard in their mind a voice to like the Amityville Horror dude that kill off his whole family. Oh, yeah. Right? Say he heard Ronald. Say he heard voices in his head telling him to kill him, catch him and kill him. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, homeboy going to blow his whole family to pieces. Tell the police. Tell them, you know, like, and everybody knew that something was off about the boy at some point. But he goes to jail. You get what I'm saying? Rightfully so, because you freaking killed your goddamn family. But at the same time, how is this acceptable religiously? If we're going to accept that biblically, then we might as well accept this so-called Illuminati stuff of these rituals with these children and these people, you get what I'm saying, being sacrificed and for their God, for their belief, for their love of this thing. They ain't doing it for no reason. They're doing it for a reason. Mm-hmm. Just like A did it for a reason. Because it had to have been something greater than, you get what I'm saying? That what you feel your son can give you, that you would even consider taking his life. Mm-hmm. That this God will promise you anything. And it doesn't even matter. You can no longer get that same kid back. So that's why I'm saying, like, what would make you think of something like that? The belief in that alone will drive someone crazy. The belief in something outside of yourself, that much can drive anybody crazy. When you don't even have that much belief in yourself. Mm-hmm. You got to first start with self, right? In a way to even know that you have enough willpower to make this prayer work. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, where does fear step in at when it comes to manifesting something that you feel like God is supposed to help you bring forth? You're not supposed to have fear when you put in prayer or requests. Mm-hmm. You're not even supposed to have fear. So how can you then fear a God? That's supposed to be, you're supposed to have enough faith to know that this will manifest.
And it shows, if you think about it, who's the true evil?
Who is the true evil? It don't look like Satan.
Exactly.
It don't look like Lucy.
The Bible is literally based on evil, and literally shows you to hate this person that you don't even know. How can you hate Satan when you don't even know the story of Satan told from his perspective?
Big facts. Because we only get one side. Exactly. See, we're getting God's side, exactly. Which God evidently has a problem with. First of all, you disagree with me, mm-hmm. Okay? And you know good and well that everything was perfect until you came and messed it up with, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Exactly. Now you just made everything go to crap, everything that I worked so hard on, and then at the same time, Lucy like, okay, so why don't we compromise, right? Because I can't picture Lucy not coming to God and saying, let's not compromise. Especially if it's the equal and opposite of you, you are no compromise. You are no compromise. So I'm sure Lucy came and said, listen, I think we need to have a talk. So I realized that we've been doing everything your way. And I feel for us to have balance, just for us to have a peaceful union, that we compromise. So we can do things your way, but we can also incorporate my way of doing things. Mm-hmm. And God's like, so we're supposed to compromise. We're supposed to work together. Lucy like, yeah, He like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, no. Like, I don't like that. It don't sound good for me. And matter of fact, now I need to keep you under my microscope because I think I'm gonna have problems with you. So now you go and slander. All this person said was, you know what? I feel like this. You said, let us make people together, right? Now, you have your thoughts, and I have my thoughts. Now, mind you, we're making people who's going to have both sides of our thoughts. So, isn't this going to kind of be disastrous with your plan of tempting them with this thing that you're telling them that they shouldn't have? Well, that's the irony of it. See?
Exactly. And it shows in a lot of things that it's a competition between the two.
It is. It's a war that they're having together.
And your followers are going to do this.
Yeah.
Let's see who come out on top.
Basically. And that's what it's like. It's like a chess game. A game that they're playing. And we're the people that they, the little animated people that they can pick up and move to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so this is my person, and I'm gonna get my person to pit against your person, and then guys like, no, I'm gonna get my person to put against your person. But at the end of the day, both of them are bad if you're gonna look at it that way, or both of them are good if you're gonna look at it that way, or somebody is negative, and somebody is trying to compromise, and it ain't working.
Exactly. And if you actually know the Bible, it shows that God is the one being evil.
Because he's the one killing, destroying,
he's the one
deceiving. He lied. He accepts lies. It's okay to lie to sometimes. It's okay to lie sometimes. How?
That's all Lucifer when you're doing it.
Exactly. How you gonna kill people who, first of all, you had to have had that within you to create a people to have had that within them, right?
And sort of hate.
Now you get to Sodom and Gomorrah, and all these men supposed to be sexing each other, right? Everybody in the freaking city supposed to be sexing all the men have gone crazy and started sexing all the other males, right? Now, here it is, you have women, children. The children came from someplace, right? So that means these men had to have had sex with the women at some point. Pretty sure there was some marriages going on with a husband and a wife type thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it. So, what all of a sudden made this straight man all of a sudden turn gay and decided he don't want his wife no more? He wants butt, and he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? He's plunging holes. He's going ham on the city and all this stuff. And then God is saying, oh, I got to burn that city the hell up. It's going down. Hey, angels, go down there and give them a warning that if they don't stop all this butt fucking, that I'm going to go ahead on and burn this whole city up right now. Right now. Here it goes. Everybody like, I don't know. Well, you know what? I don't believe that because I've always been this way. And then you get some people that's like, I actually wasn't butt fucking nobody. Why I gotta die? You know what I'm saying? Oh, because God said everybody in this. I'm pretty sure I didn't fuck anybody in the butt. Why am I about to die? Well, the whole city's depraved, and God's going to get rid of everybody because of all of this stuff going on. So, the people who get to leave, which, by the way, is a man who screws his daughters and have kids by his. And this man, of if even the gay ones, he decides to save. A man who not only perform incest, but you produce children with your children? What kind of... And God is okay. Why didn't y'all get burnt down? Well, he should have just took everybody out. I guess because they weren't the only gay ones. Like, come on, like, are you serious? Like, it just stuff like that just does not make sense. To even believe that
story has been changed and manipulated to make it seem like the gays were the problem.
From the beginning, it was a problem. From the beginning, it was because look, you got Cain, who first of all kills his daggone brother. Like, first, hold on a minute. Let's pause on that. Now, regardless if maybe they had other siblings or whatever the case may be, they had sibling rivalries. Like, what the hell was going on with Adam and Eve's household that it would bring so much anger? Not to say even with Abel, because it didn't seem like Abel was, Abel tried to be the good son. So it's like, how is it that Cain gets to up and kill his brother, still be granted a wife, because you got married. It's not like you lived some horrible life or nothing like. No, after you kill somebody, your brother, you up and just go get married and have this wonderful life, like nothing that like what? And these are stories that they tell in a different way. They dance around it and they glorify it and they justify the ignorance of slaying your brother. You get what I'm saying? Instead of seeing things as a negative from the start. There is nothing to justify him killing his brother. Period. Right? But it's acceptable by God. So, if Lucy ever played a part in this story, what part did Lucy play? Because it seemed like the bad guy here so far is God. So what part did Lucy play? You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. If this be the case, make it make sense. How this is okay. I don't care whether it's biblically, if it happened in real life or whatever. When is it okay to kill your brother who did not do nothing to you, but you were just in a jealous, envious fit? And you're praised for it. With love, because you get married.
Because God was the same exact way, very jealous, very
envious, very wrathful, very greedy, all those things. You know what I'm saying? So that show, and he said himself, this is what he is. So who's the freaking bad guy? Because Lucy didn't say she was anything. She never said, I'm this, that, and the other. God told you I was this, that, and the other. But when you read my story don't line up with all I do is just open your mind up to a different way of thinking, saying, you sure you want to do this? Because I don't think you know who you're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly.
You sure you want to do this? All I'm here to do is just open your mind up. I'm not trying to do, and if I ever do anything, it's only because God told me to. I would never just go and try to hurt you. My MO is not like that. You could just read about me and find out. That's not my MO. I don't just come messing with you. God tells me, hey, you see so-and-so down there? I want you to lay it on their ass. Oh, what you mean, God? What you want me to do? Well, pretty much, let's go ahead on and since they're so comfortable with their finances, you know, I've been blessing them pretty good in the financial department. So let's go ahead and pull that. They just got married last year. Let's go ahead and pull that. And hey, guess what? They got a baby on the way. Let's go ahead on and snatch that too. So I'm gonna get you to do those things, and that way, after you do it, they'll still call for me because they're not going to know that it was me because they already know, you know, from past times, you know, we've already, everything. Yeah, I've already given them things, you know, because I giveth and I taketh away. So they will never think that it's me taketh away. They'll think it's you, but I don't mind them blaming you for it. You know, hey, somebody's got to take the blame. It's insane.
It is. And if
it's insanity.
You think, and you see how people use religion, the Bible.
Oh today, my goodness.
People that lead this world, like, look at Trump. Look at Trump. How he controls. He
knows how to manipulate the people's minds using religion because they already half brainwashed. So he knows, you know, hey, why not mess with the weak? And then you go and play with them, and then it's like, charge forward.
If clearly they know the truth of that Bible, so and they show it because he's a hateful person and he's manipulative, just how God is perceived, and he used that, and just like Hitler, there's a picture literally of Hitler doing the same pose. No, it's a picture of Donald Trump. and Hitler doing the same pose. Got the Bible in their hand and had the same pose.
And
they have, and if you compare the two, it's actually been shown that proven that Trump and Hitler literally have so many similarities, and they both are dictators.
Mm-hmm.
They want to control you, and keep you at the point where he don't want you to learn the truth.
Well, he's not the only one, and this is the thing. This is the thing. You talk about politics, because that's not really a subject I really touch on like that. Mm-hmm. But today at the flea market, this guy comes up to the table talking to me, random conversation and stuff. And then his pitch to me was telling me about Trump being a fascist, and we got to get rid of him. And I'm like, well, let's getting rid of him. We have what other choice? Oh, well, Biden's a whole. I said, well, this is the thing about these choices. And this kind of how I feel about, same thing even with religion. This is how I feel, because you only giving me, if I ain't for God, I must be for the devil. How about I'm not for neither one? So this is what it's like. Don't make me have to make a choice between two fucked up choices, okay? Because I don't have a choice. I don't care what anybody says about. If you only have two choices, then you don't have a choice. You're being made to make a choice, but you don't have a choice if you're being made to make a choice. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing about this choice. Now, if you're going to give me two choices that I have to choose from, why both of them got to be fucked up? Now, how about I don't want neither one of them? How about we redo this thing, remix this thing, get rid of the two already, start back with some fresh new people? Because the two, neither one of them, I think, fits the bill for what needs to happen. Because so far, I think the line, 45, the 45th, so far, I don't think everyone is feeling the effects of what happens when one person get in the chair. Only certain people feels the effects, the good ones anyway. So I was always told, and I always thought in what I've read, is when it comes to leadership should be based upon integrity, right? Not whether I like you because, I knew I knew you back then. I knew you used to do so and so and so. So and so is for so and so, so I like them. But you don't really know anything about this person to do this job, right?
That's how they put it. They give you these choices, Republican and Democrat. I feel that why should we have to pick a party? Why can't we just base our choice, our decision on the person based on that person?
Because that shows you how, and if these are, how to say, if we're going to use these things as standards for our homes and how we think and how we conduct ourselves and things like that, what we see from that house alone shows division. So that means if your house is divided and we're supposed to follow after you, that means many of our homes are going to be divided because you got conflict in your house. So naturally it's going to be like a disease and spread, and start destroying these people's homes. Because you're already bringing conflict because two people cannot agree on one common thing for everybody. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So how can you expect anybody else in their households who even follow you guys, either one of you, to have a stable mindset, to even think that they can say, you know, okay, we're going through these struggles, so let's pause. This is how we're going to compromise. The people who are supposed to be showing us standards for those things can't even compromise. So that tells me right there, a house divided means a nation divided. That means homes divided. That means people divided. All of that should matter. And the person who you put in leadership should have enough integrity, and I don't give a damn who it is. Anybody that you put in leadership should have a level of integrity that people can say, you know what? Everybody has their flaws, and even with their flaws, this person I can say is a stand-up person. Whether it be guy or girl, this is a stand-up person. I thought that's how we're supposed to choose leaders. You know, you serving the community, you serving the people. You know what I'm saying? If the people are supposed to be protected under you, and you are supposed to serve, because I thought that's what kings did. I thought they served the people of their lands. And in return, the people serve them or whatever. I don't know how that works. But, you know, it just seems like that would be the logical way for things to work. Mm-hmm. Not to say this is a logical world. But the ways this runs shows instability from the beginning. It shows negativity from the beginning. Mm-hmm. It shows all the things that we are taught about per religion. We're on board when it comes to the government and other stuff. You get what I'm saying? Why is that okay? And then when that person takes that same behavior into their personal homes and they end up killing their wives or girlfriends or husbands or kids and stuff like that, oh, now you crazy. You've been crazy from the beginning, dealing with all this stuff of brainwashing of somebody telling you, you have to choose this or you have to choose that. You're already confused. And it's like the choices that you're giving me both freaking suck. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm going to catch hell regardless. So, kind of like, what's the point of even making a choice? It seems like I'm going to catch hell regardless. I don't care who the hell win at this point. The two choices, though, it don't really matter. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on. It's not like a good guy versus the bad guy. Then it's a choice. But how is it a choice when both are bad? Come on. That doesn't make sense to me at all. None of this politics makes sense. The only way it makes sense to me is to truly believe that the Americans that pick these people, who actually choose these people to be their leader, to be our leader, something wrong with them. Because when shit go foul because of this person, don't look at everybody else like, oh, you didn't know, you made that choice. You chose that person. Well, if I didn't choose this person, we was going to get the other person, and you still would have been in the situation. It could have been better than this. It may not have been. But either way you look at it, how about nothing can happen if you can't make a choice? Because you don't like the choices. So, I'm going to be a willful slave and choose somebody I don't like? I'm going to be a willful slave and say, I don't like them, but, no, better yet, I'm going to just go ahead on and be one of these abused people, right? Who I whine about the relationship, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to still be there and support him. He could beat my ass every day, starve me to death. Every once in a while, come and, decide to say, throw a little something at me just to shut me the hell up because he's tired of hearing my mouth whining. Just throw a little something at me and it shuts me up. And then all of a sudden, he's right back to the same routine, beating my ass because, whatever insecurities or, Mm-hmm. How can you tell somebody to choose differently when we're already in abusive relationships per religions that we praise, per dealing with politics? All of this stuff, we're already in abusive relationships. Willfully. Mm-hmm. Because you have to choose these things. You actually have to make the choice. Nobody can make that choice for you but you. So now you are willfully a slave to follow along with something you just don't agree with. And this is freedom? No, that's fear. We're all scared. Mm-hmm. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I ain't scared of no president. I ain't scared of the government. I ain't scared of bullshit. Yes, you are. You fucking scared. We all scared. You know why? Because if we wasn't, then somebody would say, you know what? Fuck this. I don't like you and I don't like you. I think we need to go ahead on and clear them choices out and make new choices. If we can't, then how can you say you are truly for the people? Because we're all speaking out. We want somebody with integrity. We want somebody that we know is going to actually make a change. Enough of all this crap. Enough of all this foolishness. We want change. Who's saying that? Who's really speaking up? Instead, we're fighting about other things, other injustices. You get what I'm saying? Per the same situation. So many things you have to attack. You get what I'm saying? Because there's so many branches that you have to be shielded from that it's like you don't even know which way to go if you had a way to go because of fear. Nobody, if let's say you got people, room full of people and everybody's on the same page, we're going to talk, we're going to speak up, all right, you may have enough people to get heard by one person, not the main person that you need to speak to, but one person who says, you know what, I might can get you somewhere, get you a little help. But then as soon as you get to that help, because the higher you go up, the more connections these people have with the people who you don't like. So now you're running into a problem. So fear, yes, you're scared. Because you don't know where to turn. You don't know who to turn to or who to trust. Yes, everybody's scared. Mm-hmm. Regardless if they admit it or not. Someone fears something. Because even the people who are getting good things in their life and they might be a part of the system, you're dealing with something too that you don't like. And you can't even speak out about it. You just have to sit there and agree. Maybe because the money's too good for you to speak up. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, all this fear, all this brainwashing, this whole system designed and all of what we're dealing with right now today with, Corona and all this stuff. Because even people will question that about, God is gonna, some people think that God sent this on us and some people don't. Now we back to questioning religion again. Mm-hmm. Now you're back to questioning your faith again. Now you're back to questioning whether this God is good or bad or not. You get what I'm saying?
It's gonna keep us divided.
Yeah. It's like just simply having this belief per your own belief instead of opening up the book and reading the book for yourself without judgment. Reading the book like you would read any other book, like it's a history book because it is a history book. Read it just like that with no belief, because the things that you hold here, you're gonna start looking at things biasly. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't agree with that. I'm gonna skip over that. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. Can't do that. You got to be able to read it and accept what it says. No changing the words. No manipulating the words. Take it for word from word what it says. And when it hits you, When some stuff don't agree with you, when some stuff feel like it's breaking your heart, you gotta accept that. If you choose to hold on to this thing. So it's like a lot of people don't want to let go because of fear. Oh, I don't know what's gonna happen if I don't believe. Well, what been happening when you was a kid when you wasn't believing because you ain't know nothing about it then? Probably even as a teenager, you probably didn't understand the good concept of what God was. Mm-hmm. Probably as an adult, you still don't understand what a good concept of what God is. Because ask anybody, like the lady asked me today, you believe in God? Sure. Which one?
Which one?
I mean, just so you know, are you a believer of what? Of God? Sure. Which one? Well, I mean, you in order to be a believer, you got to believe in Jesus. I said, well, now, everybody got pros and cons about them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when I was in the faith, I was a believer. And I did. Well, I can't say I fully believed. I had a little struggles because some stuff was messing with my psyche. But I accepted what was what. And then turned around and now I walked away and I'm like, no, I don't believe. Oh, now you scaring me. You came and sat at my table. I didn't draw you over here. You drew yourself over here. Curiosity. But I'm bad. I'm just sitting here. You a Christian woman. You see these cards on my table. You see my candles, you're curious, and you came inquisitive about me. I didn't come asking nothing about you. And then you ask me if I'm a believer and then tell me I'm scaring you. You scaring me. You scare me. Mm-hmm. That's why I said, oh, how is this acceptable? I just don't get none of this stuff. That's why I walked away. All that judgment. Mm-hmm. All that you fearing stuff. For what? What the hell are you scared about? You scared of your own shadow. I can't. I'm going to end that video because I'm tired.